welcome back to the League of Legends 4PL play for Fame Corsair Vengeance Cup July Final. I am Pulse and I am joined by my co-guest of Southington. Hello.
Hello.
Fast and efficient. First battle will be Irelia by Fnatic, and of course we do have Fnatic versus SK, so we did see this in the Season 1 Championships. Very interesting to see how both of these teams have progressed since then. Of course, they have had some swap-ups. Of course, RNA and Yellowstar are some of the new additions, which you have seen for a couple times now. Definitely in that tournament we saw last week. I think they were the new addition for like a day. But obviously, we have had some more time before them. And of course, we have N-Rated and Soaz, I guess, who are fairly new to Fnatic, but not as new as Yellowstar and RNA. Definitely both teams taking a lot of time and thinking about their bans, because we've only had Irelia and Ezreal so far.
Still, those are pretty solid bans. I mean, Ezreal is probably one of the strongest AD carries at the moment. He has good burst in the lane, has good burst mid-game actually as well. I mean, he's not really a very bursty champ late game, but for an AD carry in the early and the mid, he's very strong in that regard. And he's mobile, and he has an attack speed debuff. You know, really solid all-around pick. And yeah, and then there's Irelia, who is probably one of the hardest scaling bruisers in the game. Hard to shut down as well, and really just very difficult to deal with that true damage 10 style proc. And then we have Shen and Karthus.
Ooh, yeah, talk about global presence, which is just like the thing that's banned out all the time, which is a very viable composition. I feel like it's one of those compositions which isn't like completely overpowered anymore. It's one of those compositions which can be, wow, that was a fast insta-locked Alistar. And yeah, it's one of those compositions which can be countered nowadays. Maokai and Malphite.
Yep. Both Maokai and Malphite can be very strong junglers. Maokai is pretty much a dedicated jungler. Malphite can also kind of double as a top lane against AD heavy champions, like, for instance, Jax, or basically anyone who likes to have attack speed, because you don't have any when you're against Malphite. He has one of the strongest attack speed slows in the game. And Maokai, very strong ganks, and also kind of counters AoE compositions by virtue of his ultimate, which reduces damage within a certain area. Which obviously for an AoE composition is very difficult to deal with. So Alistar, Corki, Nunu.
Yeah, and Corki, very strong AD carry, and this is one of the things we've seen before. Like Corki and then Nunu is not one of those things where it's like on hit, but still Corki does a lot of damage, gives him more presence, gives him more mobility, and of course attack speed. And he can follow up more auto attacks after his initial burst, but it doesn't have a massive amount of synergy in the sense that he has harass in the sense of like an auto attack and then phosphorus bomb and then auto attack, or just phosphorus bomb and then auto attack followed up by maybe a Sona power chord and then Q. It's not like that. It's kind of interesting. Then again, we could have Nunu in the jungle, very very strong jungler with pretty much hard CC with that slow chain CC, which is incredibly strong, and then Lulu and Ari.
Yeah, Lulu and Ari. Lulu seems to be being seen a bit more this tournament. I'm not entirely sure what's changed that, but she has a lot of kind of saving power, Lulu. She has that Glitter Lance, which will slow you down to something like 30% of your full speed. She has a shield, she has a movement speed buff, and she has Polymorph. And she has her ultimate, which is a knock-up around you and health boost, which ignores Ignite and things. Lulu is just absolutely fantastic for keeping someone alive. And honestly, Alistar does a very good job of that too, with his headbutt and pulverize. But yeah, so looking maybe like Fnatic looking for some kind of a hard carry protection composition here. But maybe not, maybe not. I don't know this for certain. And yeah, back on that Corki thing with Nunu, the thing that I personally don't like about Corki Nunu is that Corki has to interrupt his auto attacks to use his abilities. His strength as an AD carry is in his abilities, and he has to stop auto attacking to use them, which means he's not taking advantage of his attack speed as much as he could be. Maybe that's just my own personal hate, I don't know, but you know. So yeah, Kassadin and Udyr.
Kassadin and Udyr. Kassadin very strong, and pretty much like we've said multiple times that Arsenal is really the only person who plays Kassadin. Kassadin is very very strong if he gets rolling, but he's kind of easy to shut down. He can be relevant for a long time, but he needs kills to stay ahead of the curve basically, but he has a long time to do so. And then Udyr is really strong, but he suffers from kiting abilities, and it kind of makes sense to pick him this late on because, well, there's less ways to counterpick him. Though Alistar great peeling power, there's the charm as well, very difficult to gank these lanes in general, and then you're picking up the Ashe as well, which, again, great counter initiation, and following up with the Jace, probably top. Soaz has played Jace a couple of times, actually, to great success, but yeah, Udyr has that kiting issue, which is one of his biggest flaws. Going back to that Lulu as well, I just wanted to mention that Lulu is great for initiation, especially on people like Shyvana and Alistair who get in close, have that on-target sort of initiate, and you can follow with the Wild Growth, hitting multiple people on top of that Pulverize.
And yeah, so just waiting on the final pick here, and yeah, it's one of those things. I'm not sure I agree with that Udyr pick. Like, he already knew there were two great peeling characters, and it's not like Ahri is weak either. She tends to buy Rylai's and she has a charm of her own. And Ashe is just this horrible counter for Udyr because he can basically never catch her once it hits late game. Once she's got a Zeal, she can pretty much permanently keep away from him because she's got a permanent frost shot. Maybe he'll flash on her or something, but and then they picked up Jace as well. So, Udyr's going to have this serious problem getting in close. And Cho'Gath.
Ooh.
Spicy! Yeah. But, Cho'Gath is this very tanky, high sustained character in top lane. But his sustain is predicated on the idea that he can reach the minions to last hit. If he's taking too much harass to even get near the creeps, it does actually cause him problems. But Jace tends to have rather a kind of a passive style, at least early on. So I think that could work out in his favour. I've not seen the matchup before, though, I will say that much. But, Cho'Gath can be a really strong top laner.
Yeah, that being said, Cho'Gath can also be run bottom lane against 1 versus 2 in those scenarios, a lot like Yorick and Yana. So, in that sense, he's a very viable pick in that. Yeah, I'm looking at that actually. Yeah, and then you can have Nunu top. If you have Nunu top, that means he can invade along with Udyr. He gives the excellent movement speed, so he has the pushing power and to close the gap basically. So, yeah, that's interesting. But do you want to take a look at anyone's runes and masteries before we get into the game?
Cho'Gath probably.
Look at Kevin.
Kevin,
SK
yeah.
Kevin.
SK Kevin. SK Kev 1N if you want.
If you will.
3N.
Mori.
4.
God damn it. 8.9 physical damage, 13 armor, 78 health flat, and plus 12 magic resist. Makes a lot of sense, gives him a lot of laning presence, and going down to 9, 21, going down to arcane knowledge, and then Juggernaut taking veteran's guard and indomitable, reduced minion damage pulse, and honor guard, reduced damage taken 1.5%. Pretty significant when you have that much health as Cho'Gath. And then of course the lane sustain, yeah, makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so he certainly could be running with the intent of being bot lane against 2. Cho'Gath can really manage that.
Anyway, guys, we're going to cut to a quick commercial break. Sorry for cutting off, and we'll be back in a bit with Fnatic versus SK. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome back to the League of Legends 4PL play for Fame Corsair Vengeance Cup July Finals, Semi-Finals. I am joined by the fantabulous Spuddington.
Hello!
Joining together adverts,
the final the final semi-finals. That does actually make sense, in spite of appearances.
Yep,
but,
that's the thing.
Yep. So it's looking like Fnatic are going for an aggressive invasion here.
Ooh, fast off the mark with Soaz's acceleration gate. That's very classy. But interesting of him to take the acceleration gate so early without really seeing his opponent. I mean, what's the cannon form of that? Oh, well, the hammer form rather.
It's
knockback, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe looking for a lash, but defensive formation, Nunu, and they will be forced to back off despite the extra movement speed they had with the acceleration gate, which kind of sucks just a little bit. But they do have Corki also in that position. Spamming laugh, which is always nice to see. Good job, Yellow Star, as I was about to say.
Having seen Nif at top there, that might actually give them a hint that they might be pulling a lane swap here.
Yeah.
Because, typically you'd expect to see, oh, they're actually going back.
Oh, and Nif's not there this time. He hasn't seen them.
Oh,
Corki.
Hello, Yellow Star.
Corki. Acceleration gate, he's gonna see them. There's the flash from Cyanide into Pulverizing. Very clean kill. Lot of upfront burst. That was one of the fastest, just like, first blood cleanups I've seen for a long time. Like, it was just massive burst. I mean, usually, he gets dropped pretty quickly, but that was like instantaneous.
I guess all the characters there have their damage at level 1 is up front.
Yeah.
Like, you've got a volley, you've got Orb of Deception that was actually taunt.
Little Lance.
All their damage is pretty much in the first second. Oh, but it looks like Udyr might be trying for a steal here.
Oh, RNA Ballsy! Did he get it? No, he didn't. And Ash still following after. How Yellow Star and Nif also there to follow with the pain. Field goes down, but there's so picking up the kills at RNA. Perfect volley. Wow, what a death! That was like some Gladiator stuff right there. I didn't watch that film. But 2 for 1 already. Yeah, it was a good film. Should check that out. I saw the 5-second version rather, which is quite amusing. But yeah, we have got the lane swap up, and best smiters Ari get red.
Interestingly, have you noticed SK Kevin right now has blue buff? He's soloed their blue, which is very unusual. And actually, it's going to leave Arane with virtually nothing. I mean, what's he going to do? Like, do double golems and then go to the wraiths, which were counter jungle, so there's only one small one? With no red. He's going to be seriously under-leveled if he tries to jungle. Maybe he'll go in lane.
Yeah, just swap this up and have Nunu jungle, yeah, makes sense. But they have predicted the swap up and they put Jace down there, okay, that makes sense. And yeah, Ari actually left with the red buff because, well, both junglers missmited. And we do have Yellow Star and Nif, yeah, looking for the follow-up. There's the flash into the snowball, pretty much a perma-slow from here on out. Valkyrie goes down, didn't wait for the flash, another flash goes over the wall. Knight goes down, looking for a couple more auto attacks. Good juke into the brush, Fox fires, goes down, auto attack will finish that guy off. Sana coming in from the side, looking for the assist, not gonna happen. And Soaz coming in from the side, just bats him against the wall into the skies. We'll get the slow WQ combo onto Nif. Oslo coming in from the side, not got a lot of early game damage. Soaz picking that one up onto Nif very, very quickly. Expeke returning to the fray. And Cyanide will just be roaming about. Meanwhile, at top, while all that was going on, we do have N-Rated and Lamia pushing in that turret for a very aggressive push.
I gotta say that Fnatic have really come out on top from these kind of swap up and jungle shenanigans at this stage. I mean, what are they now? 1,500 gold ahead.
Oh, Cyanide going over the headbutt. Nice splash from Ocelot as a projectile. That being the cow was in the air. So projectile cow, the best of the missiles. But
and one of the things about Cho'Gath early on, by the way, is that he has high mana costs and a very slow mana pool. But with him starting with blue buff...
Oh, continuous slows coming out from Nif, however, onto Lamia, following up the Fist of Fury. RNA coming in from the south as well. Bear Stance has been popped. Lamia potentially going to get dropped. There it is. And N-Rated forced to flash out, leaving his AD carry behind. Sad times.
Terrible things.
Yeah.
But yeah, one of the things about Cho'Gath, high mana cost, low mana pool. But he can actually, with blue buff from the start, exert a lot of pressure. But... for some reason, yeah, Jace is just bullying him out anyway, actually. That's very surprising to me. I mean, I guess Jace can just get up in his face and do more damage than Cho can do when he gets up in your face. Because I mean, Cho'Gath's playstyle is that he likes to get up close and use his Vorpal spikes for extra damage. But
Enrage's getting chunked up by Yellowstar and Nith, following up with the Gatling gun, but Lulu almost picking up the kill onto Nunu as herself.
Yeah.
Yellowstar, that's the one. Look very similar, Corki and Nunu. They have very similar facial features. Wait, what?
Let's go with that anyway. But apart from the fact Nunu is two faces. But yeah, it seems like Jace is just able to, get up close and do more damage than the Vorpal spikes. And Kevin's
Lamia, there goes the exhaust into the perma-slow from Nif. Turning around with a couple of volleys, better things to do. I doubt she's going to escape, just turn around and trade. Could have picked up the kill up onto Corki, in fact, as she actually committed. Meanwhile, mid, gank goes down onto Ocelot, Cyanide falling very low, swapping the aggro onto Soaz. He will fall to about 40% HP, backing off. RNA coming into mid as well. Can he get anything done? He might be able to. Ari's out of mana, but Soaz is recalling. Yeah, he's
just going to pick up the creeps. Yeah.
But I was just thinking about the Jace and Kevin matchup on Cho'Gath, and I was just thinking, basically, Jace is harassed, that being the E, along with his two disguise, is always going to be relevant because it's percentage-based health. And Cho'Gath's usual strength in lane is the fact that he just has a lot of health. How can you chunk through that early on without, well, percentage damage? And that's what he has. So I guess that's some way towards his lane dominance in that bot at the moment.
Yeah, and that is probably the small disadvantage here of, one of the disadvantages they took from those jungle invasions is that it did clue in Fnatic that Cho'Gath was probably going to go bot. And it didn't really clue them in because they already probably guessed, but it gave them the certainty because Nunu was up top as well. And there was no reason for him to be up there unless he was going to be laning there. Yeah. And then they managed actually a successful invasion as well.
And have taken an early turret, so yeah. And as if we've learned anything from Azubu Gaming, they can snowball this pretty effectively if they play it right, because, well, that's extra gold in your team, more map dominance as well, depends what tower you get. I mean, top tower, as you said before quite rightly, that it hasn't got a lot of dominance early game. Even like 15 minutes when Baron spawns is when Baron is takeable, if that is a word. So yeah, even so, it's extra gold all over the board, which is even more relevant early game, because it's quite significant.
The one thing I will say though is that if you are going to take one early tower, you need to start taking more early towers as well. Yeah. Or you just end up being in an awkward situation where some of your characters don't have anywhere to get golden experience safely. And Cyanide saying hello to Ocelot.
Yeah. Like, hey, I'll be taking your ward, thank you very much for 25 gold. And expecting just doing some damage with Foxfires. Ocelot can't really get in close, can't get that kill. It's running out of mana, Someone's coming out of nowhere onto Yellowstar. Goes in with the hammer blow, but actually expecting popping the ultimate onto Ocelot. Has still got two charges, there's one, and there's a charm landing onto Yellowstar. And RNA coming in from the side as well, and Cyanide probably looking to mop that ward up at some point when he notices it, but there's a bit of skirmish happening along mid at the moment, and as you said, they really need to kind of make those pushes. They've swapped up Cho to top, so Ash really can't push in further. Will Ash roam and try and group up? That is the question. Will they group up and look for these, this teamfight stage, even like 9 minutes into the game?
Yeah, I really don't know. It does look like that's what they're going for. I mean, the thing is though, I guess Fnatic's team does actually work very well as a team at this level. Around now they've got all their CC, they've got most of their damage as well. Like, they have a very strong mid-game team, and if they're going to be going for an aggressive pushing style, yeah, now is definitely the time. But that means that they have to group. They can't allow themselves to get caught up in just, well, I'd like to finish off this wave. They need to be grouping up, getting into a lane, pushing hard, basically.
The AD carry syndrome.
Yeah.
Must farm
everything.
But there's another wave there, I can't go back just yet. And it's just, yeah. You get that issue. I've definitely had it as an AD carry, so yeah, I definitely see what you're saying. If they're going to commit to this strategy, then they need to group up and they need to make a push. Like, no doubt they can still win it if they just go in for a conventional laning phase, putting Fnatic back bottom with Lamia and Enrated, but grouping up wouldn't not be bad for them. It's a very convoluted way of putting it, but you get the point, or at least I think you got the point, at least my brain did.
Yes, your brain and your brain alone, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, they're going
but-
for Drake. SK with 2 man. They haven't warded though, like Enrage had seen them. Ocelot coming up from the side. Lulu could be pincered in here, but has sped herself up. Arane coming up from the side. Expected just throwing out the poke. Arane still tanking. I mean, he's still actually Yellow still tanking the Drake, and the longer they tank, the more damage they take, and
Yeah,
that allows
looks like-
Fnatic to go for the initiation. And yeah, they forced him back. Yeah.
Yeah, now Fnatic pretty much have a free Drake themselves. I mean, yeah, I guess they probably won't because SK could stick around and poke, but they might. They might.
Gibby!
Are they going to go for it? Are they going to go for it? No. No, they're not.
It's not a game show. It's not Bruce Forsyth. It's just like, are they gonna go for it? Wait a minute, what? That was a weird
know.
reference.
Is that even a thing? I wasn't aware of one that involved that.
Well, it's gone from like obscure references to meanwhile bottom array going for the initiation onto N-rated. Turtle stands into best stance will just get him out of there. Ocelot going in with the Force Pulse and just a bit of harassment more than anything. But N-rated's ultimate is very good as a counter initiate, and Cyanide, Cal Projectile potentially going into Ocelot, lost the vision. And I don't even know if Lammy is looking for the damage here, going in, but they want to be backing off. Nif coming in as well with the Angry Birdman. N-rated forced to flash out along with Lamia. Nif popping out the ultimate. Oh, and the orb doing a lot of damage, bringing Lamia flashing up red, very low health. Meanwhile, Jace is pushing up to Cho's tower. It doesn't even care.
Cho is having a lot of trouble here.
Mm.
Can't really. I mean, 87 farm actually is pretty good, but he can't seem to stop Jace from just pushing where he wants to, and then roaming out and going where he wants to, going where. He
Meanwhile,
chooses,
mid
if you will.
XPK going on to Yellowstone with the help of Soaz, getting some damage done, and Soaz just having in for that kill. Easy pickup with that kind of assassin comp. They have a lot of gap closing, and then just a lot of upfront damage to follow. Like we saw that from the level 1 fight. Them following up with it now is just another indicator of the upfront burst. However, XPK could be caught by Ocelot, forced to flash out.
Yeah, it's not a situation you really want to be in. But he looks like he might be going back in. He's actually queued up 2 health potions, so yeah, I guess he's just planning to stick around. But Kassadin has now reached that point where Kassadin gets to just do the uncounterable thing. He just flashes in and silences you. Well, he rift walks in. He blinks in, if you will, and silences you. Follows it up with his purple triangle, his force pulse. That's what it's called.
Yep, good. Purple triangle.
Yeah, purple triangle of doom. Follows it up with that, and you're slowed and you can't really follow to wait for when your silence runs out, so yeah, you have to preempt him somehow, and honestly it's very difficult to do that. So yeah, he's going to make Ari's life very difficult at this point, especially considering he can actually...
Oh, Ash Arrow and Lulu to follow up and gets the kill. Massive upfront burst, looking for the shock pulse to get that, and it will not pick it up, but he might cut off Ocelot here.
Nah.
Angry Cow Projectile, there goes the WQ combo, along with To Disguise, flashes out of there, Ignite goes down as well. Will that finish him off? Maybe he needed one more auto type, but N-Rate is coming in from the side, looking to do some damage onto his counterpart Nif. And meanwhile, Cho'Gath is pushing on in top, with no longer having that threat of Soaz being there. Because he is Kevin, he wouldn't have the threat of himself and himself. Unless he was multi-personality disorder, yeah.
I've spoken to myself on many occasions, and frankly, some of the conversations have been alarming. But but enough of my psychological disorders. Yeah, so right now Fnatic have actually taken a bit of an early lead. They haven't really snowballed that advantage they had earlier. I mean, if you're looking at proportional gold, they've definitely lost the lead that they had at the start, but that's more or less unavoidable. So yeah, right now, Fnatic. What are they going to be wanting to do? They've pushed down mid and top towers, so probably they'll be looking for to make something happen at bot. Lamia's going to go down there and farm it and push it naturally, and I suspect I suspect that the rest of Fnatic will try and follow suit as soon as they possibly can. And oh wow, Cho'Gath is massive at this stage.
Yeah, I was just going to comment. And what is he? 6 stacks. He's level 11, so okay, that's another increase in size. The mathematical increase of size in Cho'Gaths. The documentary.
Yeah. So, yeah, looking at it now, Arane is actually hanging around at bottom. Maybe he knows what they're going to do, but he's probably actually just been seen by the creeps as he passed by. But yeah, he knows he's been seen. He's just going to help him push down himself.
It makes sense though, they are making that aggressive push onto the bottom tower, but they have to be careful because they know that Fnatic's going to make an aggressive push down there as well to counter push it out. Cyanide, yep, there is Cyanide's going in, he has no sister wards, he's going to clear that one up, and that will basically stop them from making that push, though they have lacked vision around the area now. Take a look at the builds, actually, we haven't paid them much love in all honesty, so actually pretty standard, actually gone for the double Darns and then into the Zeal. And it kind of makes sense because you'll probably go for a BF sword after that. I wouldn't expect her to go for the Phantom Dancer first, unless she's looking for the extra kiting, I guess. But meanwhile, mid, XPK following up on the nice Thundering Blow from Soaz, picking up with the All Deception on the reverse route with the true damage. And that was a very, very nice knockback with Thundering Blow, just setting up perfectly for XPK, basically. But, yeah, I mean, I'm looking at Asha's build, and would you expect her to go Phantom Dancer, or just to pick up the BF sword after that?
It would surprise me a lot, because unlike characters like Cogmore, if you just build
Oh, Ocelot going balls deep onto XPK, and will immediately be picked up. Angry Kevin coming in, and Cyanide will stop him from eating that fog. Flash goes in, looking very scary. Nif, the snowball for the shutdown. Not the perfect person to have it on, but Soaz coming in from the side as well, along with Cyanide, who's probably unbreakable will. Oh, knocking back Nif to prevent that absolute zero from coming to completion. Kevin now in a bad position. Ashar will barely miss. Yellowstar now joining the fight. Enrated coming in from behind as well. Flash goes down by Yellowstar to get some kiting. Knockup will go with the Wild Grove. Arane now joining into the fight as well. Double kill goes in for Soaz. Cyanide coming in from behind. He has got some health right now. WQ combo locking up Arane. Triple kill for Soaz. And that was a 4-for-1 trade.
Yeah, right now Soaz is huge. He's 6-0-3 after that fight, and what, he's got 2,300 gold in store. When he goes back, he's going to have a 24th, and probably then some actually as well. So yeah, you already saw how fast he could burst down Corki. He took him down in, like, 2/3 with his full combo. That's a lot of health, and it's only going to get worse right now. So yeah, Soaz is probably the key game player here. I mean, I'm trying to think where the strength of SK will lie in a team fight. They do have quite a lot of picking potential. I mean, they do have Kasset, who is king of picks. He will jump in and silence you and slow you, and then you will not get away. And moreover, you won't be able to see it coming, so you won't be able to back out. But honestly, when Dragon comes up, which shouldn't be long, I think.
Oh, Fnatic going on to Ocelot though, and still has 2 chances of the ultimate, so no, he's just going to pop at the wall. A bit of mobility, but Ocelot could have been caught there. You were talking about the pick team, and they have a very good pick team, but you're looking at Fnatic, and so did they.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, both teams have great pick teams. It's all about the positioning, but because Fnatic really have the dominance, and therefore you have more map dominance, then you're going to have more warding cover, more vision, and then ultimately better picks. So you can kind of mitigate it slightly, even if they have a slightly better pick team, by vision and map control.
Also, I'm noticing that Lamio is really dedicating himself to farming a lot right now. He's generally trying to ignore team fights and generally just go for farm. But it looks like he's rallying into position because Dragon should be coming up. I need to check this. It was done at 13. Yeah, it's up right now. Yeah.
But Spuddy's mathematical skill. Welcome to.
Well, to be fair, my instinct was telling me it was up very, very soon. It just happened to come up while I was checking. Just shows how on
game sense from Spuddington.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can be off kilter. I don't know if you can be on kilter, but yeah. So at the moment, yeah, both teams have pretty good picking potential, but Fnatic also have much more options in terms of forcing team fights because they have better poke, they have better team fight. And
better initiation.
And they also, I guess, they have better global presence because they have at least something, which is Ash Arrow, which actually, if it comes in from full range, it's what? It's a 3.5 second stun, which is... it's easy to not appreciate that, but it's agonizing. 3.5 seconds when you're stunned. Ari's charm is 1.25. It's more than... It's nearly 3 times as much. That is a huge stun, and Cyanide is helping XPK.
Outstanding. That was a very easy pick.
So wow, Soaz just dueled him, did he?
Yes, yeah, basically.
Like right now, that's how strong Soaz is. And actually, he hasn't gone for that Trinity Force. He's going for a BF sword, so he's going for a really aggressive, high damage build. And from that, Dragon pickup.
Yeah, he's kind of forced to in that sense, because if you have that many kills, okay, you can build tanky, but you don't have the damage output. You can probably out-sustain them, but they can kind of ignore you. On the flip side, if you go for a heavy damage build, like Soaz is doing right now, they can't ignore you, and you're going to be ripping into them. It's perfect for Chase. He can kind of perform 2 roles in that sense, and can get fed. So right now, 14-4, looking for the Ash Arrow, will land straight onto Yellow Star's face. Flash goes down by XPK, very easy pick. Nif also trying to get out of there. Shock Blast goes down. Another charge from XPK with the ultimate. Flash goes down by N-rated and Cyanide. Everyone used the flashes over the walls. Nice rupture from Kevin. Will counter-initiate this potential push. This acceleration gate goes down actually, and Cyanide will follow up with the WQ combo. So once again, the great rupture landing onto several of the enemy team. Another shock blast. However, XPK has found himself an Ocelot. So will be getting out of there with that flash. And just poke. Wow, the poke is just kind of crazy right now from Fnatic.
Yeah, Fnatic have this huge poke, and they have the ability to just force SK off any objective they choose, really. Like what they're doing now, like SK can't really deal with that. They'll just siege this tower, and honestly, SK don't have many options as counterplays.
Yeah.
It looks like Fnatic are going to back off, maybe because Lami is out of mana, maybe just because they want to sweep the jungle and clear bottom and top, I guess that's probably why. I mean, SK could probably stall them at the tower. They have pretty good wave clear. I mean, Yellow Star and Kevin together are going to, insta-give creep waves, but...
SK making a very aggressive push down mid. I guess they saw... I guess they saw the creeps bottom and expected Ash to go for it. I guess this is like do or die. They have to go for this, otherwise, what can they do? They can do very little else. They are looking for those picks though, and so as is duking that one out. Ash is still bottom. Got a little bit of time to initiate before the Fnatic collapse upon them.
Problem is, they're not strong enough to do it.
Oh, they've caught themselves a Nunu, and that's a legendary Soaz as a single pick, and now they're turning this one around 4 versus 5. Ash Arrow, will it land? That is the question. Whoa! As a WQ combo straight onto Ocelot, Wild Growth goes down as well. That was a large cow projectile. They are forced to back off though, being sliced down by the massive damage from SK right now. 4 versus 4, even so, they are pretty strong. 3 for 1 trade so far. Great turnaround by SK, and Ash still not there. I mean, just the dedicated damage and the sustained damage from the AD carriers, but, well, apparently enough to stop them. Acceleration goes down by Soaz. He should be able to escape. Wandering Blade goes down, and volley as well from Ash just to help him out. So it's turning this one around with the phase slow as well onto RNA. Massive damage. Shock Blast goes in, and jump over the wall from Ocelot. Legendary Soaz. Rupture goes down. Ocelot lands at the Q into the auto attack. That will be shut down. 600 gold goes to Ocelot. And yeah.
That team fight at SK's inhibitor tower, what happened there was 4 people getting caught in a rupture from Cho'Gath. Now, if you're getting knocked up for, what, 1 second? Yeah, 1 second next to a tower, so whoever's tanking is going to take a lot of damage, and I think you can't use Alistar's ultimate when he's knocked up, or maybe you can, and he just wasn't sure if he was tanking the tower or not. So he ended up getting bursted down before he could even use it, and then they were all slowed and chugging around near there, and they couldn't reach Corki, and they couldn't do much to Ocelot at that point either. So they ended up just being in this really awkward position where they were being AoE down but had to just run, and as you saw, only Chase actually got out of that situation and then proceeded to sort of carry on fighting and lose it anyway. But in spite of all that, that fight shows that in a 4-on-5 situation, Fnatic are actually roughly equal without their AD carry. That's that's bad news for SK. They're still like it's not that huge of a gold difference, but they just can't seem to team fight them very well right now.
Yeah. They're going for the initiation, but I feel like they're going for a pick and then an initiation where they kind of just need a straight up initiation, because for the pick they're expending CC. And here's the massive initiation that I was just talking about. Sana going in, looking for the pulverize, not landing it just yet, looking for a more great target to go, and there we go, landing it on both carries, exactly what he wants. Another knockup with the Wild Growth. Yellowstar kind of getting pinned down, Cyanide looking to lock him up, so I was picking that one. And Lamia leading the charge, trying to get something done on to Ocelot and Kevin. Good juke from Ocelot, getting away from that shock blast with the acceleration gate. That was 2 for 0, and that's what they needed. It was great of Cyanide to actually wait to use the pulverize on a better target, and then
it was a much
carries.
cleaner team fight that time.
Yeah.
And from that, it looks like they're going to be going for a Baron. But they've got to be careful, because Cho'Gath could flash Feast, and Feast actually outdoes Smite in terms of stealing objectives. It's 1,000 true damage, and Smite at level 18 only does something like 800, I think?
Yeah.
But he's going to have to go a very aggressive
Oh, Expected predicting it, though. Kevin taking a lot of damage. He just fail flashed into the wall. Enerate potentially being picked up. Nif will get that one. However, RNA still in contention to try and steal this Baron. They are going to turn around, leaving it at just enough health so he can't steal it, picking that one up very quickly. And meanwhile, Expeke just kind of cleaning house around the area, just stopping them from doing anything. Yellowstar trying to get this kill onto Expeke, maybe a bit too balls deep, doing a lot of damage to Expeke in the meantime, though. Nice ultimate over the wall, back over the ultimate, back over the wall. That was very nice. Very, very nice. He'd thought he'd gone and then back over the wall. He didn't really expect that to the point where he could pick up that kill, and that was GG. Well played.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very well played, actually. Like, Fnatic there just really had the team fight. I honestly think Fnatic outpicked SK there. Like, they just had it set up much better than them.
Yeah, like if you take a look at the team, they didn't really have synergy in anything. Like, what do they have? They have a pick comp that's kind of mediocre. They have a decent team fight. They have decent lanes. They have pretty good lanes, actually. But then what have you got? I mean, Caston's not the world's greatest laner who's going to win it outright. He needs to kind of get going, and I guess they have a ganking jungler, that being Udyr. But there are better ganking junglers, honestly.
Better ganking junglers, and the enemy team was built to kite.
Yeah.
And their swap up didn't actually work out either, because Fnatic saw it coming. That was another part of their problem. I almost wonder whether it's worth whether you'd want to take CV on that kind of clairvoyance on that kind of a team, so you can tell where the enemy lane is going to be ahead of time. I don't know. Food for thought. But Cho'Gath just doesn't quite work out as usefully as Jace, or when you get in that situation, that you're in that situation. When you're in that situation,
good English,
1v1 lane. I'm English, I swear.
Oh, right, okay. Okay, I've just been informed by the producer that we might be spectating a different game or jumping into one on the separate brackets. So, actually, we're just going to take a quick break and then see if we can get that running quickly. So, yeah, BLB guys will be back in a bit. Stay tuned.